I misread the title. I thought that what we were going to talk about is how big is your we? I'm not sure we can talk about that on Christian radio. John, kia ora, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Though I'm sure even Christians do.
Well, I know, but in terms of the topic today, it's not about bladder capacity
No,
or
no.
even the size of your urethra.
No,
I'm not.
it's more sociological than neurological. How big is we? How big is the
Okay.
group that you consider to be us, the people that you identify with and the people that you
Can I just
belong
say
to?
how big as us would have been so much easier? Because when I say it on the radio, people can't tell how many E's there are in the word. So how big is us? Let's reset.
Let's make it how big
I'll,
is us.
yeah, who's in and who's out in terms of your social circle and the
That's
people that you
right.
consider to be just like you, right?
Right. Now, I'd like to start off by just saying I talked with Greg Murphy on Sunday night,
Mm-hmm.
the racing car driver, and
Yeah.
I did want to share with him some advice that I've found, but I don't think he needs any advice from me. But the advice I would have given to him is that you can save a lot of time on your drive to work if you don't bother stopping for those pesky kids with the stop signs
Oh
outside
yeah.
of schools.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they can't really stop you. Just charge on through those flimsy little signs. They might scratch your paintwork, but they're not going to stop you.
Yeah.
And if there's a line of traffic lined up in front of you, already stopped at one of those pesky kids, you can just, no one's using the other side of the road during that time. So you
Yeah.
can just whiz down the wrong side of the road and cut back across at the actual pedestrian crossing to get on your way again.
Wow.
And
That's very good advice. I mean, it's just another judder bar, really, isn't it?
yeah, it is. One moment, I'm just going to turn my phone off.
Oh, oh gosh. There's a very important call from John Cowan. I think it might be the police talking to him about how safe his driving is. Was that the police, John, or no?
It could well have been. It could have been my wife calling me to say, John, to stop being stupid. And I am being stupid, of course. I mean, I actually like to see those stop signs outside schools. I love the idea that big cars and trucks and things can be controlled by little kids because it's one of the best examples I can think of that we live in a civil society.
Yeah.
Any one of those adults in those cars could drive straight through.
Hmm.
You know, we're bigger, we've got more power. You know, if we jumped out of our cars, we could scare those kids away, no trouble at all.
Yep.
But the thing is, they're not stopping the traffic because of their power.
Hmm.
They're stopping it because of the authority they have. Behind those kids is this thing called the law,
Yeah.
and behind the law is this thing called civil society.
Yeah.
Perhaps some people stop at those stop signs because they're scared of getting some penalty, but I looked it up. The penalty is only $150 if you drive through and only
Wow.
35 demerit points. That's not that scary. But we all meekly stop with those kids when they stick out their stop signs because we think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
We think it's a good idea to look after those kids, that keep them safe, keep the ones crossing the road safe.
Hmm.
But the thing is, and this is what I want to talk about, they're not my kids.
Hmm.
Why should I care about them? Well, we do.
Yeah.
We realize that even though they're not our kids, we still care about everyone's kids.
Hmm.
When I got married, I suddenly had to stop thinking just about myself and think about my wife. We became an us, a we. We had a we culture. And then as our kids came along, they were included into who we considered we as well. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about saying, off you go, kids, go scavenging for your own food. You have to go and find your own clothes somewhere. No, of course not. I cared for our kids because we were an us.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm wanting to talk about this morning is how big do you extend that circle?
Yeah.
And I think that New Zealand has got a fine, lovely tradition of having a large us, a large sense of who is we,
Yeah.
because we have social services and we have defense services and policing services and a wide sense of community. And politically, people can argue about how much you spend on that and they can argue about how to do that best.
Yep.
But I don't think any political party would ever want to abandon that idea that we are all in this together. It's not just me out for myself. We belong to a community.
Hmm.
But the challenge that I put to myself regularly is how big do we consider that circle to be?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a bit sad when I hear, and I have heard people say, "Oh, we don't want to pay for someone else, another community's social services. We don't want to pay for another community's water supply or something like that."
Yeah.
As if they want all their money spent. Perhaps they want all their rates spent on their street. Perhaps just spent on their berm
Yeah.
and their road frontage. They don't want to consider social services for a wider community. And so it does have political ramifications, but I think it also has very personal ones as well. You know, mature societies think wider. We all probably in our distant past belonged to clans, little family groups that were suspicious of any other group coming over the hill and we'd throw rocks at them.
Yeah.
But we've moved beyond that. And not all that quickly and not all that well at times. And you don't have to go back very far in history to see how small our concept of we was. It might only have been people of our class, people of our religion, people that looked like us, people that spoke like us, and we would discriminate actively against people that didn't fit into that small category. I mean, even last century in New Zealand, there were laws against Chinese. There were signs in hotels which said no Irish, that Maori soldiers returning from the war didn't get the same rehabilitation privileges that European soldiers did coming back from the war. And this is in New Zealand. We have such a fine sense of pride in our race relations. We don't have to go back many decades to find that actually in our law. And probably you don't have to go very far to find it still written in people's hearts.
Yeah.
And so this is my challenge. This is my challenge myself. I've talked about this before, about my challenge to myself is to grow my heart, to have a bigger sense of who is us, who is we. And because when we start to consider them, even though that people are diverse, people are different, they might have different accents and religions and skin color.
Yeah.
The more we learn about each other, the more we realize that, hey, we're all humans together. We're all in here together. And so our natural instinct is to shrink back into our clan-sized loyalties. But my challenge is, who is my neighbor? Who is my neighbor?
Yeah. Hey, super good stuff indeed. And hey, I was a little bit worried again, not just about the how big is your wee thing, but about advocating running over children at pedestrian crossings. I thought, oh my goodness. But no.
Yeah,
no,
I hasten to add that was just an illustration.
This was an illustration. Exactly. This is not something that we're advocating for on Rhema. John, thank you for having a social conscience and a sense of humour. Thank you for the wisdom and the humour that you bring to this show. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, and thank you for your patience and tolerance and putting up with my raving. I appreciate that too. Cheers.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.